Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Good Turn Daily. And as you can see, right next to that way, yeah, there we no, that way. We've got Quentin, Mr. Deadwood Turning. He's got his nice dandy shirt on too.
Yep. Proclaiming my superpower on the back of me taking wood and turning it into things.
Nice. So, um, we didn't talk about this, but you just popped in anyway. But for being my earworm and hanging out, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us what you like to do, and let's promote your channel.
All right. Well, myself, I come from a background of law enforcement and working with at risk kids. Um, Currently, I am a funeral director's assistant, which means I pretty much do everything at the funeral home, from prepping the bodies for burial to cutting the grass. You know, pretty much.
That's
Um,
different.
Yeah, and I work 13 out of every 14 days. I get one day off and then I do my next stretch. And I needed something to do besides just work. So that's how Deadwood Casting and Turning was born. And it turns out I'm pretty good at it. So um so that's pretty much how things got started over here. So
So, what is your favorite thing to turn?
really right now, because I am a novice turner, my favorite thing to turn has got to be the wood and the resin hybrid bowls. You know, for those of you that saw the video on the Emerald Flame Bowl, I mean, that has got to be the absolute beautiful, most beautiful bowl that I've done. This past weekend, I got out practicing my cuts, um, so I could do my February challenge that I just issued. So I just turned my first live edge flower, which,
That's right. I saw that video.
well,
So,
I put some pictures on Instagram, but I haven't really shot the video for it yet. So I want to say hey to Double D and to Rob over at Hodgepodge. They just popped in, and JP Woodworks just popped in. So hey to JP.
hey JP, Robert, how are you?
So
Let's see, what else can we ask? Um, so when did you start? How long ago?
um, I literally started turning and making videos in May of last year. So um, the very first time I ever touched a lathe was in the sixth grade, and it was my grandfather's Mark V shopsmith. Which,
Yeah.
if y'all have seen my shop update video, y'all see I just acquired one of those for Christmas. Hey, Midnight, how y'all doing?
Hey
Um,
Mikey, how are you?
so, um, and that was actually I turned an old school prototype wooden rocket for my
Wow.
science fair project. And then I didn't touch it again until I was like, I need something to do. I'll buy a cheap lathe off of Amazon, and what's the worst I could do? You know, break a bone, not turn again. But I actually turned out that, I was actually pretty good at it. So I'm actually self taught. I watch a lot of videos, from like Doug over at Pole Barn Productions, Nick Zametti, Ben's Works. Those were the three channels that I really started watching. And then from there, things grew. I started watching Ken Tippin, um,
We
all
like
kinds of people. So, and it's just grown. And then, you know, I started talking here and there with Billy Burt, and he's answered a lot of really good questions. And then here recently, the whole um, cross channel challenge community, the original 13. Yeah, you like that, Double D, huh? The original, this whole community that has just come together around this cross-channel challenge has been great. It's actually been a community. It's been what I've been looking for since I left the law enforcement community. The camaraderie, the reaching out and helping people, the sharing of stuff. I mean, of knowledge. It's just an amazing community that I really didn't think I'd ever find again.
I 100% agree. I mean, see, I'll give you a little background on my side. John, welcome, buddy.
Hey, John, JP, what link to whose channel?
I'm going to put in the link again if you want to be an earworm, or just hop in and chat or whatever. Anybody who wants to join me up on screen, that's great.
I think they're looking for a link to my channel.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good thing.
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Okay, you do that. So my experience is when I was in high school, I had shop class, and they had just kind of the stupid little things, and they had this big lathe that was in the shop, and the shop teacher would not let us do anything with it. I guess something happened, and I kind of kept bugging him, and they just said no. So ever since then, I've had something kind of deep down inside that just been gnawing at me for a long time. And anyway, I've been collecting tools here and there. I've always done woodwork just a little bit, and then one thing led to another, and the business that I was working with, they gave a tool allowance, and they didn't care what you bought. And I had enough of the stuff that I was fixing, wrenches and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up buying my first benchtop lathe and just a real dirt cheap set of tools. And I'll tell you what, just from going to YouTube and all of the other makers that are out there, especially, and I have to admit it, especially in the UK, I mean, just totally lit a fire for me. I cannot express how much or how thankful I am for those people that reached out to me and were willing to help me and answer questions. Mike, the gentleman wood turner, he's aces. Wayne, the wood turner. Robbo, he's in Australia. We do lives every night. Jay, he's fairly new, but he's getting really good. I mean, just this whole community, I found it. So, and yeah. Now I've got Quentin from Deadwood.
Yeah, and this was just a total accident. I just happened to be home from work today, and this is cool. I like this.
Well, I guess let's go ahead and get started. So last night, well, no, let's see, about a week ago, my wife, she kind of keeps giving me these little ideas, and I have this chessboard that's sitting on the floor, which I'm eventually going to do a project with, and unfortunately or fortunately, I'm going to hack it up and I'm going to turn it into a bowl. It was one that I actually found in a garbage can. So anyway, she said, well, why don't you turn some chess pieces? I'm surprised you haven't done that lately. I said, yeah, I can do them. I mean, they're not hard. So last night, and okay, this is going to be kind of themed for Valentine's Day too, because it's coming up, and this is a little cheesy maybe, but I made that for her last night because she is my queen. And that's what we're going to do today, but we're going to do something just a little bit different. And now, one of the reasons why I like to do these lives, and a lot of people may think that what I'm doing is simple and stuff like that, but simple is the beginning, and simple is what you do to hone your skill. Um, and this really was not hard, but it came out pretty nice, I think.
Well,
So
that's a perfect piece for like practicing your coves and your bevels. You know.
exactly. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and switch camera. Um, let's see here. There we go. I am going to put myself on mute. So Quentin, if somebody pops in, just kind of give a shout out and just say, "Hey, so and so's here and welcome." If you need to pop out anytime, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and do that.
All
I
right.
appreciate you popping in, and it's very nice meeting you finally.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too, Blair. I'll hang out and give the shout outs. So, so if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, let's go ahead and smash them thumbs. Let's get this video working in the algorithm, and let's get Blair out there.
Thank you, Quentin. Okay, go on mute.
That's true, Chris. No, actually, Hodge, I am actually a Jaguars fan because I'm about 45 minutes away from Jacksonville. But in all honestly, in my heart, I'm a Miami Dolphins and a Cowboys fan. I just root for the Jags because it's the home team. But I was pretty proud of Tampa Bay for, pulling that off last night. Yes, this is American football. Yes, that we play with our hands. Yeah, Chris, I'm pretty impressed with his skew skills myself. Um, if I had tried doing that with mine, I would have already slung it off the lathe a couple times.
All right, so let's talk about that. My skew skills are okay, I think. Um, but the most important thing I think for skew is just make sure that your skew is sharp, like as sharp as you can get it. Because once you do that, you'll be amazed at what happens. If your skew is dull, you're going to be fighting it, and you're going to be just trying to press. And I mean, as soon as you get that angle on what you want it to do and have it roll over, that thing will just be butter. Whatever you want to do. So that your skew, I think, is the most versatile. I think it is anyway. Anybody else can tell me different, but yeah, I like it. So this is really rough. You can tell. This wood, I'm not exactly sure what it is. Um, I don't know. Anyway, but this will all sand up. If you get a really good ride on the wood, you can see how this is smooth. And then if you end up changing your angle a little bit, you get a lot of tear out. Um, your skew, if you get it just right and you're trying to have a length that you don't want to sand, you can actually make it so that that whole thing you won't have to touch. The cells will all close in, everything will be nice and tight. um, but yeah, it's just practice and practice and practice.
So, Blair, I have a couple questions here. Chris
Okay.
was wondering if you had the intentions of doing a full chess set, and I noticed a comment from Robert saying that the thought of making duplicates has been keeping him from doing one. So, do you have any advice for those two? Also, Circular Wood by Keith just popped in. So, hey, Keith.
Hey Keith, how are you, sir? I really don't. I guess if I have a lot more time on my hands, I'll think about doing it. But being doing duplicate stuff, um, I almost don't like the thought of doing duplicate stuff. I like originality. Um, And so, if I was to make one, I probably wouldn't try to do exactly the same thing. I'd do just a little bit different, like for the pawns and for the bishops. And, I'm still trying to wrap around my head how I'm going to do the knights and the horses. I, I don't know. I'll figure that out. But I don't know. It may come about when I retire, or, I end up being quarantined for a couple months or something like that.
Oof, don't remind me. I actually was stuck in the house with that crap for 34 days.
Oh,
It was not nice. I was not a lucky one. I didn't have the light version. I had the full knock you on your butt version.
you and Billy.
Yeah.
Jeez, well, Quentin, shoot, I'm glad you're doing as good as you are, man.
Oh yeah, it's rough. It took me about after I got over it. It took me about 4 months to get my stamina back, but it's nothing nice.
Man, you're a lucky one for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, so let's get turning to this, and let's see.
That's cool, Hodge. A full size lawn set of chess games. That yeah, full size lawn chess game. That would actually be pretty cool. That's right, Double D. You had to do a lot of duplication when you did the work for the Topeka Zoo. Good afternoon, Wood Ninja. Thanks for joining us.
So I'll tell you one thing. I've got a few SKUs, um, and let's talk a little bit about that just for fun. So I've got these guys, and you can see on this one, I actually got this one from a friend who is at a school district, and they're getting rid of all of their old tools, and he just happened to nick a box for me, and they got all new tools, and you can see what they've done to this thing. I'm going to have to get a grinder on it, but anyway, there's a lot of differences. Some people will like this. See how that's rounded, and you've got just kind of a sharp edge to that. And actually, this is my favorite. I do like using this one the most. Some people like just the straight, and I've actually just started using this one, and I can I like this one a little bit better just because of the feel. And then there's this little guy, which, I'll tell you, if you can add one of these to your tools, you'll be surprised where this little guy will go into. Um, it's really surprising, but it's a benefit. So yeah, that's just sad the way that they ground that down. I'm gonna have to get after that one of these days.
So we have a question from Double D. Double D was wondering how many SKUs do you have?
um, let's see, one, two, I've got 5 SKUs, and it's just because I ended up getting a bunch of them in that tool dump. Um, and if anybody needs a SKU, I would be happy to send you a SKU if you are,
Well, that brings
whatever.
us up to Double D's follow up statement. He says that if you want to get rid of one, he might know a guy.
Double D, get with me. I would be happy to send one out. And I I do this every time, and the reason I'm going to is because I am so grateful. Um, so Gav is fairly new to the community. He's over in the UK, and I did not have a spindle gouge. And honestly, with my budget, I can't go out and buy one. I couldn't. And Gav, um, he stepped right up. I mean, he said absolutely no worries, and he sent me a spindle gouge. And so, I asked him, what, I'll pay for the shipping or whatever. And he says, you know what? Um, you don't have to pay for anything, just pay it forward. So, Double D, get with me. Happy to pay something forward. So,
That's the best. That's the best kind of karma, brother.
yes, sir.
I mean, it's like a lot of my wood. It's given to me. I've been blessed that living in Florida, a lot of trees come down, so it's like they call me up and they're like, "Hey, just come cut it up and take it." So if I try and share the love, I know I've sent some stuff to Double D, and we've done a couple blank swaps and stuff like that. I still have some of the wood that he used in his Topeka, Kansas, his zoo project that I haven't decided just exactly what I'm going to do with that yet. But I mean, paying it forward's a big thing.
100% agree. Absolutely. And it's especially if it will help somebody out. That's what this is all about, and that's actually where my half of my name comes from. The Good Turn Daily
Yeah.
is we need to be looking out for each other, and that's part of it. But also, if you're into doing wood turning, do it something every day, and you'll just get better and better. So anyway, I'm getting back to finishing this up, and um, you guys keep chatting.
Chris, I got the same issue right now. A friend of mine just bought 30 acres that he's trying to clear for cattle, and they're all wild cherry trees. And he told me if I would come and cut them down, help him cut them down, that I could have all the wood I wanted.
Now you're just making me jealous.
Now, didn't I just say that I have no problem sharing the love, brother?
No, it's okay. Actually, where I'm at in Utah, I get a lot of cherry and a lot of apple, a lot of fruit wood, and all that kind of stuff. I've got some stuff that's sitting around that I'm just waiting to get into, so it needs to dry out a little bit. But absolutely love turning cherry.
I have a 3-inch live edge slab of cherry sitting on my dining room table right now that I'm going to make a real chopping block for my mother-in-law. I don't think I've ever turned any green ash, Double D. Okay. That's good to know. I knew it was ash, but I didn't realize it was green ash. And I'm still trying to come up with a project that's worthy of it. Oh, now that's kind of cool. I'd love to see some of that mesquite once you get it, Hodge.
Oh, mesquite is beautiful. We've got a lot of that around where I'm at, Hodge. That, and we've got tons of cedar hanging around, and if you guys have ever turned cedar, I mean, it just makes your shop just reek of cedar, and it's so nice.
Yeah, I got a bunch of cedar. The city come through and cut down a bunch of trees along the edge of the road, and just threw a bunch of wood just off onto the side of the road and left it. So, I've got pallets upon pallets of cedar that I'm fixing to start turning.
That's what they call found on the ground cedar.
That's it.
Like that.
Hey, free wood is good wood. It don't matter where you get it.
True story.
Double D, that'll be a nice little road trip for you. All right, guys, I'd just like to remind you, if you haven't, smash that thumbs up button. Let's go ahead and do that for Blair. Since, obviously he needs all the thumbs up he can get since he busted his.
Yeah, thank goodness this wasn't a shop accident. This was a work accident where I decided to peel back.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Peel back all the skin from my knuckles.
Yeah, if y'all watch my fire challenge video, you'll see a section in there when I say you have to be very careful about sanding the inside of a project. You have to be very careful about hand placement. There's a reason for that.
Do a shout out for your challenge again for the flower.
Okay. For everybody that's here, I'd like to announced that the challenge, the YouTube Cross Channel Challenge 2021 February challenge has been issued. And the challenge for February was done by me, and it's to make a flower or something that reminds you of a flower. Don't care how it gets done, but that's the flower. But that's the challenge. Gav, thanks for joining us. For those of you that just joined us, Blair is turning a chess piece as a Valentine's Day gift.
And this would be maybe score you guys a few points, with your wife. Just say, honey, you're the queen of everything, and that way they can put it on their desk or wherever they are. So okay, so we're 30 minutes into this, which we're going pretty fast. I'm surprised. So I am planning on coloring this. I'll share a little. Let me switch this real quick.
Yeah, I can agree with that, Double D. My wife Hayden, she would just look at it and go, "You're stupid." Of course, my wife is a little on the goth side, so she would rather have a raven skull or a black rose than a queen chess piece.
All right. All right. So what I do for coloring, I know that there's tons of dyes and all of that kind of stuff out there that you spend lots of money for and all of that. I was messing around with stuff, and I thought, you know what? I went to Walmart and I got some just regular clothing dye. Now, I'm holding the bottle that this I don't really recommend because they do have a powder form of this, and it works just as well. But what I did with this to kind of turn it into the powder form, this has the dye and water in it, and that's how they market it, and they only fill it up to like about there, and anyway, but I let it dry, and then I put denatured alcohol in with this, and I'll tell you, I'll show you. This is dirt cheap. It's like, I think this was like $3 for a bottle, or somewhere around there. And I still just keep using it and using it, and every once in a while I'll just keep dumping some fresh denatured alcohol in here. But let me show you.
While you're doing that, Blair, Woodsley Summercraft has joined us, so welcome.
Hey, Woodsley, welcome. And there's Gav too. Gav, we just chatted you up a little bit, buddy. But anyway, this is just the red dye. Comes out real nice and even. Some people will like to add sanding sealer or put sanding sealer on your wood first. And I tried doing that, and I found that it doesn't soak in as well. And so I kind of like not using the sanding sealer first. So anyway, but give it a shot. It's only a few bucks. If you do get the bottles, just open up the caps, set them someplace warm, and let it all of the water just kind of dissipate out of there, and then use some denatured alcohol or mineral spirits, or you guys in the UK, metho. That'll work.
So it looks like Blair's putting the die on his piece. That I think he forgot to switch cameras so we can see what he was doing. So it's all good. That's one of the reasons I don't do live is I get so caught up in my work I forget about everything else. There we go.
I can't tell you how many times I do that in my life. It just, tell you what this stuff is in my in this paper towel looks like what happened when I did my thumb. That was bad. I don't think I've ever bled so bad.
Well, with as red as that piece is, I mean, you could call that one the Queen of Hearts. Yeah, if I tried that line, yeah, I'd still be told I was stupid. Later, Chris. Thanks for coming.
So I've got one little piece on here that, you know, and this is just demonstration. I wasn't looking to do anything with this, but next thing is I don't really like doing the oh heavens, what is it? The OB shine juice kind of a thing, just because what happens is it takes away from the color. I like using more wax when I do the dyeing, or I'll just get some. Where is it? There it is. I'll just get some of that. This does really good job. I'll tell you one thing that I'm totally sold on is Krylon actually has something called triple coat, and I think I'm out of it right now. I was going to show you what it is, but no, here it is. I got some. If you guys can find some of this, this is the bomb. I mean, you really don't have to go back too many times. It's but this one we're just going to put a little wax on it. I like my wax and feed and wax, whatever it's called. Stand away from it so it doesn't fling on you. Now, feed and wax does have some distillate in it. I'm not exactly sure what kind of an alcohol, but with the wax, it does a great job.
I'm actually kind of, Blair, I'm kind of wondering how like Brad's tongue wax would look on that. Like his tongue wax that he makes, or even my homemade shine polish would look on that.
Well,
because I know his is made with tongue oil and canuva wax, I think, and mine's made with beeswax and mineral oil.
Yeah, you can do that so long as you don't have any like an alcohol in it. It'll be awesome. Yeah, so long as the oil sinks in and the wax will start to do a glaze. You bet. I've never done that without like the mineral spirits. I probably should do the mineral oil and beeswax thing.
I actually have a video on my channel how I made mine. So
everybody go to his channel and look for that.
But I also have to admit that when I tried Brad's, I quit using mine.
All right. So anyway, you can do a build-up of that, or even now, if you wanted to, shoot it with some of the clear gloss. This is still a little bit wet. I would kind of wait a little bit and let it dry out, and then shoot it with some gloss. One thing I forgot to do, and I'm sorry, this is going to be loud, but I'll mute. Gotta put the
Okay, so he's using a Dremel to cut his crown pieces and do the detail work in his queen chess piece.
I'm just hitting buttons and not meaning to hit buttons. So
what you're saying is you're all thumbs?
Yeah, something like that. So this is dry enough that I'm just going to put just a real light coat on here. And this wood, you'll notice that it'll probably suck in. I'll have to give it a few more coats. Now, if I would have done the sanding sealer, this would have been a lot lighter than what it is. It'd probably almost be pink. But you'd notice that the spray doesn't soak in as fast. So it's kind of give and take. One thing also as well, for those of you who have the Reeves drive, which is what I have, highly recommend don't turn on your lathe and do the spray, because what will happen is that spray will suck right into the back part here, that little thing right there. And you can see it's already been coated, and I need to clean that off, and every once in a while I'll pull that off and clean it on the inside. But yeah, not a real good idea.
Blair, I have a question for you.
Ask away.
I noticed that you have like some kind of catch bucket, like a Rubbermaid tin underneath your lathe that's got a lot of sawdust in it. How does that work as far as like catching your shavings and stuff like that? I mean, does it help with the cleanup?
It helps me a lot. I like to save my shavings. I've got a garden outside that I go and dump them in. Also, if you guys are turning like cherry wood and things like that, one thing you can do, if you guys like to smoke meat and you've got like a Traeger or something like that, get one of their little smoker boxes. And so long as you can maintain that everything that's in that little bucket is cherry or whatever, you put that in that little smoker and then smoke your meat. But it, on the whole, it's just it just catches most everything, and then I can throw it in a sack, and it makes it easy. And then I've got a shop vac that's down by my feet, that catches everything else around my shop.
Okay. Welcome, Brian, at Heartwood Turning.
Hey, Brian, how are you, sir? So I'm going to go ahead and part this thing off. We're coming up on just about an hour, so we're doing really good. And I'm going to mute this one last time, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Gav. When I speak, I don't sound like I have an accent to me, but when I hear my voice, like on my videos or recording, I'm like, man, I'm just like, I got a heavy accent. That's a good idea too, Double D. I like to go camping a lot. I never even thought about using my shavings as a fire starter.
Yeah, shavings are awesome. One thing that you can do too, I don't know if you have a Boy Scout troop or whatever. Um, those little shavings, if you can get like little tuna fish cans, and just get some regular paraffin wax or whatever, they can do like a little merit badge for that. And you mix the shavings in with the paraffin and put it in that little can, and it turns into a camp stove. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, that's a good idea too, Blair. I never even thought about that. Usually, I use the lint from my dryer in a toilet paper tube as a fire starter.
All righty, so there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little something. I mean, I could definitely do better than that. We are doing a little fast today, but yeah, it's an idea. Maybe if you're into, um, oh, what is it, pyrography? I can never say that right. Do some little hearts on it, or even take a Sharpie and do some little hearts around the side there, or whatever. But anyway, that is my show for today. Quentin, you are welcome anytime you get another free moment. Um, One thing I have to say is I've been doing these on Mondays. I'm actually going to have to switch my schedule. I'm thinking about jumping in on a Sunday, which I know everybody and their dog does Sunday, but it's either Saturday or Sunday. I won't have Mondays off anymore, so we'll find a nice, happy, cozy spot and just be looking for on YouTube. And find me again. I really appreciate you guys coming in and looking at what I do. You honestly, you make me feel good because I love my art, and I think I do some pretty good stuff. But I'll tell you what, I learned so much more from you guys. But I appreciate your feedback. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like it. Give me a thumbs down if you don't. It's okay. I've got thick skin. But also, one thing I like to do is a sticker swap too. If you want to do a sticker swap with me, get with me on Instagram. Get with me on Messenger, and let's do that. Quentin, I don't know if you do that or not.
Yeah, I love getting mail, as long as it's not bills. But if you'll go to my channel, and you'll go to the description page, the about page, the last tab, I have my address right there that you're more than welcome to send me a sticker. I'll return the favor. I actually have a sticker board that I'm putting together that's already got several people on it. I'd love to add y'all to it. And if you send me more than one, I got plenty of room on my pressure pot for the second one.
So, just for giggles, I'm going to flip this around because we still have a teeny bit of time. And there's mine. I know that's a terrible view, but who's that one? I don't know.
Hey, I like that one. That one's pretty snazzy.
Tell you what, every one of these guys I have learned something from. Especially that guy. He makes me laugh. I'll tell you what. Axe. I won a competition with him. If you don't use the paste, try it out. I know that there's Yorkshire grit out there, and I'd like to try that. But yeah, I need more stickers. Oh, by the way, this is a local Utah gal. She is fantastic. If you haven't seen her YouTube, go and check her out. So anyway, yeah, let's end on that note right there. Anyway, guys, thanks again. Quentin, thanks again. You're welcome.
It was my pleasure.
We're going to end this, and we're going to say sayonara, hasta. Yeah.